Hi, I'm Sean the sheep.
I'm Frederick the fox.
And I'm Daryl the donkey.
And we're going to talk to you about how we hear. All of you can probably think of things that vibrate. What are some things we know that vibrate? Instruments, speakers, and the walls of our homes during a big thunderclap. This rubber band can also vibrate, but only under certain conditions. The rubber band has to be stretched so that it does not flop when we pluck it. When we put this rubber band over a can, it stretches and we are able to make it vibrate. As you can see, vibration is when we have an object, in this case the rubber band, moving back and forth rapidly. As if vibration itself wasn't cool enough, there are even different kinds of vibration. There are two main types, called transverse waves and longitudinal waves. Particles of transverse waves move like a crowd of people at a football game, doing the wave. Woo. Sound waves, however, are called longitudinal waves, and they move like ripples on water. Our ears are specially designed to be able to maximize the amount of sound that can travel into our ear canals. We can think of our ears as funnels. They are perfect for collecting vibrations so that our vibrations can be translated into meaningful sounds by our brains. Another word for our outer ear is the pinna. The pinna is the cone-like structure with many ridges inside, all of which lead up to the ear canal.
The outer ear is what most people see when talking about the ear, but there's a lot more going on inside our heads as well. Deep in our heads is the middle ear, and deeper still is the inner ear. Altogether, they let us hear everything we can. So let's see how a sound wave makes its way through everything. Sound is caught in the outer ear, where it then bounces around the folds. The waves ricochet around the ear until they bounce into the concha, or cave of the ear. Here, the wave makes its way through the head to the middle ear. The journey through the middle ear begins for the sound wave by traveling down the ear canal before stopping at the tympanic membrane, or eardrum. Here, each sound wave bounces off the eardrum, making it vibrate. This beating on the membrane makes vibrations that push the tiny bones of the middle ear into action. 3 little bones make up a lever past the eardrum that connects it to the inner ear. The first one of the chain is the malleus, or the hammer. The incus is the next and is also called the anvil. Finally, the smallest of the trio, and last on the line, is the stapes bone, which is usually called the stirrups. They're an easy bunch to remember when you get their nicknames down. These bones move like an arm, back and forth, bringing the vibrations into the inner ear. The inner ear is a labyrinth of twists and turns that change the sound into energy that the brain can read. This is all done in a bone called the cochlea, which looks exactly like the shell of a snail. The cochlea is filled with fluid to help pass along the sound, around and around the shell. Depending on what the sound is, it will travel up a certain distance around the spiral as it activates a specific portion of the cochlea. This gets sent to the brain, and we finally become aware of what we just heard. It looks like a long trip for a sound wave, but I bet you never notice.
Hairs that are all along the cochlea move and send nerve signals to the brain through the cochlear nerve. That is this highlighted part right here. Then the sound continues to travel up the auditory pathway until it ends in the cerebral cortex. The part of the cerebral cortex that is used for hearing is called the temporal lobe. I like to remember where this is located based on where my temples are. There are 2 temporal lobes, one on each side of the brain. The brain understands the sound depending on how the hair cells move in the cochlea. If they move a lot, the sound is heard as being louder. A person is able to recognize and identify a sound based off of past information that is stored in the brain. Just so you can hear it again, There are 3 parts to the ear you will need if you would like to hear: the outer ear, the middle ear, and the inner ear. Vibrations are made up of colliding air molecules that gets funneled to the pinna. Then, from the pinna, they are directed through the ear canal to the middle ear, where the eardrum vibrates. The vibrations move the ossicles that are located in the middle ear, and then it moves to the liquid in the cochlea, which is located in the inner ear. The hair cells in the cochlea then move and send nerve signals to the temporal lobe of the brain, where sound is interpreted. The ear is truly a fascinating thing. It's hard to imagine life without any sound, and we are lucky enough that we don't have to tell our bodies to hear. We do it automatically.
Did you hear all that?